Have you ever wondered how to spot a fake person? As we journey through life, we inevitably encounter individuals who don't quite reflect their true selves. These are the people who wear masks, often camouflaging their authentic selves behind a facade of insincerity. Today, we are going to venture deep into the realm of deception, exploring the characteristics often exhibited by these individuals. We'll be exploring a myriad of traits, from inconsistent behavior to a constant need for validation, from superficial charm to manipulative tendencies. We'll also discuss how these individuals use exaggerated stories to their advantage, how they exhibit a lack of empathy, how their body language may not match their words, and how their relationships often lack depth. Our exploration is not meant to condemn, but rather to create awareness and understanding, so buckle up and prepare to plunge into the fascinating world of human behavior. Stay tuned as we dive into the specific signs that may indicate someone is not being genuine. First off, pay attention to inconsistencies in a person's behavior. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle with mismatched parts. Consider this. One day, they're the embodiment of kindness. The next, they're as cold as ice. Or perhaps they proclaim to be an animal lover, and yet show indifference or even annoyance towards their pet. These conflicting behaviors can be a warning sign. They might be like a chameleon, changing their colors based on their surroundings or the people they're with. It's a common tactic used by those who aren't genuine, as they shapeshift to fit into various situations or to manipulate others. Remember, true character is consistent. It doesn't fluctuate based on the weather or the audience. So if someone's actions and words don't align, or they switch their demeanor as easily as flipping a coin, take note. Inconsistency can be a clear indicator that someone is not showing their true self. Next, beware of superficial charm. This is a tool often wielded by those who wish to manipulate or deceive. It's a dazzling exterior, a captivating lure, a veneer that obscures the true intentions beneath. An individual with superficial charm may seem extraordinarily captivating, endlessly enchanting the life and soul of the party. But it's important to distinguish between genuine charm and its superficial counterpart. Genuine charm springs from a place of authenticity, sincerity, and kindness. It's about making others feel comfortable, valued, and seen. Superficial charm, on the other hand, is a performance, a calculated act, a means to an end. It's about controlling the narrative, manipulating perceptions, and getting what one wants. So how do you tell the difference? Look for depth and consistency. Genuine charm doesn't switch off when the spotlight dims. It's not dependent on the audience. Remember, charm can be deceiving when it lacks depth and sincerity. Moving on, let's talk about exaggerated stories and lack of empathy. You know those individuals who seem to have a knack for spinning a yarn? Every event, no matter how tiny or insignificant, morphs into an epic saga. Their tales are filled with grandeur, dramatic twists, and turns that would make even a seasoned novelist blush. They're the heroes of their own narratives, always swooping in to save the day or emerging triumphantly from a sea of adversity. But here's the catch. These stories often lack consistency and are riddled with inconsistencies. They're designed to captivate, to command the spotlight, to make the storyteller appear more interesting or important. It's not about sharing genuine experiences or connecting on a deeper level. It's about performance, about donning a mask of intrigue and charisma. Now let's switch gears to empathy, or rather, the lack thereof. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's about stepping into someone else's shoes, seeing the world through their eyes. But for the fake individuals, this is a foreign concept. They struggle to relate to the emotions of others because they're so wrapped up in their own world. When you're sharing a personal struggle, they might appear distracted or disinterested. They might even hijack the conversation, turning the focus back onto themselves. There's a stark absence of genuine concern or understanding. So how do these two traits interconnect? Well, When someone is constantly exaggerating stories and displaying a lack of empathy, it's a clear indication that they're more interested in promoting their own self-image than forming meaningful connections. It's a mask, a facade designed to distract and deceive. Remember, genuine people share their stories to connect, to empathize, to understand and be understood. They listen with intent, they respond with sincerity. They don't need the spotlight to validate their worth. Exaggerated stories and lack of empathy are two more signs that someone may not be as genuine as they appear. Body language and relationships can also reveal a lot about a person. Let's dive into the world of inauthentic body language and shallow relationships. Inauthentic body language, my dear friends, is often a mask that fake people wear to hide their true selves. They might flash you a smile, but their eyes remain cold, devoid of genuine warmth. They may offer a firm handshake, but their body is turned away, signaling disinterest or discomfort. These are the subtle signs that their body language is not aligning with their words, a classic trait of insincerity. Fake people are also masters of mirroring, mimicking your gestures, your speech patterns, even your emotions. This is done to create a false sense of rapport and trust. But remember, authentic interaction comes from genuine interest and understanding, not calculated mimicry. Now let's talk about relationships. Fake people often struggle to maintain deep, meaningful relationships. Why, you ask? Because genuine relationships require genuine emotions, something that they often lack. Their relationships are usually characterized by a lack of depth and are often short-lived. They flit from one person to another, like a butterfly going from flower to flower, never staying long enough to form a strong bond. These individuals often have a large network of acquaintances, but very few close friends. They're more interested in what people can offer them rather than the people themselves. They thrive on the surface, where things are easy and require less emotional investment. So, if you notice someone who is always surrounded by new faces, who lacks long-term friendships, or whose body language doesn't quite match their words, you might be dealing with a fake person. Body language and the depth of a person's relationships can tell us a lot about their authenticity. So keep your eyes open, and you might just save yourself from falling into the trap of a fake person. Lastly, let's discuss the constant need for validation and manipulative behavior. Validation is something we all seek from time to time, but in the case of fake people, this need takes on an extreme form. They crave validation like a parched man in the desert craves water. Every action, every word, every social interaction is a desperate plea for affirmation of their worth. Imagine a friend who constantly shares their achievements, however trivial, and waits eagerly for your praise. Or perhaps a colleague who fishes for compliments about their work, even when it's clear they've merely done what's expected. This constant need for validation can be draining for those around them and is often a mask for deep-seated insecurities. Now let's turn to manipulative behavior. Manipulation is a tool that fake people often use to control others and situations to their advantage. It's a way for them to exert power and influence, often at the expense of others' feelings and well-being. Consider a friend who always manages to turn the conversation back to themselves, regardless of the topic at hand. Or a partner who guilt-trips you into doing things their way, subtly twisting your emotions until you feel obligated to comply. These are classic signs of manipulative behavior. It's important to remember, however, that everyone can exhibit these traits from time to time. It's the frequency and the intent behind these actions that distinguish a genuinely troubled person from a fake one. A fake person will use these behaviors consistently and maliciously, without regard for the feelings and well-being of others. So keep an eye out for these patterns. Understand that a constant need for validation and a tendency to manipulate others are clear signs of a fake person. But remember, it's not your responsibility to fix them. It's your responsibility to protect yourself and maintain your own emotional well-being. In the end, authenticity cannot be faked, and those who try will eventually reveal their true colors. To wrap up, spotting a fake person isn't always easy, but it is possible. Throughout our discussion, we've touched on several key indicators to help you pierce through the veil of deception. A person's behavior, if inconsistent, can be a telling sign. Their charm, if superficial, might just be a mask. Be wary of exaggerated stories that seem too grand to be true and a lack of empathy that's often palpable. Pay attention to body language. It can reveal much about a person's authenticity. Keep an eye out for shallow relationships that lack depth and a constant need for validation that stems from insecurity. And finally, manipulative behavior, a hallmark of fake individuals, can be a red flag. Remember, understanding these signs can help you navigate your relationships more effectively and avoid falling for the facades of fake individuals.